Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Lauren. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk about what I see a lot. I have a lot of people that will come up to me saying, Lauren, I have this idea of whether it's some technology that they want to build or whether it's a new app. And then that changes the very next week to, hey, I have another idea for something to put on your vehicle, or I have another idea of some sales funnel and marketing and consulting gig. Listen, all of the ideas are valid. All of the ideas are going to work as long as you put the plan in place to create the system that takes the idea, puts it into implementation, and you can begin to sell that idea. The problem that I see with most of us, it's not unique. Most of us entrepreneurs are looking for ways to, we're looking for the freedom. We're looking to create time freedom. We're looking to create the freedom that we want in our finances. We're looking for the freedom that we want in our lives to be able to do the things that we want to do and not be strapped down to a 9-to-5 that we absolutely hate. So it's totally normal to go through a bunch of ideas. I even did this. I continue to have ideas that come up. Now in my life, especially after taking an idea and moving it into an actual business, and not once, not twice, but 3 times as of late. I think the biggest thing that I noticed is that implementation is going to be some of the toughest skills to develop in your business development journey, right? In your entrepreneurial journey, the toughest skills are going to be taking the ideas and putting them into action to be able to create a sellable item to the rest of society. So I think that's going to be the basis of the video today. That's going to be like, how do we take your idea and move it into something that we can put on Google, something that we can blast out to your audience, to your ideal client. And so we know that this is how we're going to move from that idea to action to adoption in our ideal client. We want our ideal client to adopt our ideas. Somebody is thinking and needs the solution that you have. Let's fucking get it to them, okay? So most business owners don't struggle with ideas. They struggle with getting others to believe in them and to act. That's going to be the hardest thing. The moment that an idea comes to mind, I could tell my family, I could tell my wife, and she's going to listen to me because she's a nice person, but she's really going to roll her eyes in the back of her head saying, oh God, it's another idea. I kept hitting my head against a wall. For the longest time, I wasn't taking those ideas and actually putting them into action. I would just research and research and research and research. It was once I started taking ideas and start implementing action that I was able to create the strategies, financial, marketing strategies to be able to build businesses. And so I think the difference between an idea that lives in your head and one that lives in the world comes down to these 3 simple steps. Right? First of all, the first thing that I tell people is, can you show me? I have plenty of people that come to me like, I have this app idea, I have this electronic idea. Okay, can you show me? There's going to be a couple of different ways that you can show people. The first way, of course, draw it. Can you draw this thing for me so I don't have to be inside your head to understand what you're saying? The second thing is, can you create it? Can you build it? Guys, I'm not telling you to go learn how to code. What I am telling you to do is network with people that are already coding. There are colleges out there that are looking for people just like you to be able to put students who have incredible abilities on incredible pathways. The Y Combinator is literally an incubator for ideas to create businesses out of amazing ideas. Yes, most of it is going to be in tech, but that's not always the case. These are just small pathways in order to start creating the implementation, right? Like if you can get inside an incubator, you're going to be surrounded by mentors. You're going to be surrounded by people that want to give to you, that want to build you up, that want to build your business up, and they're going to know exactly the processes that need to take. If it's an app that you need to show me, build it. Guys, we are in that age of AI. There are plenty of tools out there. I will list them right here. These tools are going to be the difference between you having an idea and you creating a business out of one of those ideas. Don't explain your idea to people. Show it. If you can't show me that idea, I'm going to have a really hard time visualizing it. I'm going to have an even harder time explaining it to other people. I just had a gentleman last week. Hey, I've got this idea for this app. Okay, explain to me the app. This guy goes into the ins and outs of who the customer is, who is not the customer, who he really needs to kind of target as the customer. Maybe the ideas that he's still pulling from other apps. All that's awesome. All of that is going to be a storm inside your brain. Me as a customer, I don't need a storm inside my brain. I'm looking for solutions. So if you can come up with the idea, let's start creating the idea. If you don't have an idea of how to start the idea, hit me up. Shoot a comment down below. DM me. I don't care. This is what I love doing. This is what there's people just like me that love creating systems and processes to help people like you take your idea from the ground to submission. Okay. But there's tools out here. You might not need me. You might not need Bobbly Joe. Okay. There's other tools out there. AI is a real thing. We can utilize it. Start Googling it. Start getting involved. Make sure to network. This is going to be you creating the idea so that somebody can see it enough that where they see a solution about it. Map it on a whiteboard. Create a one-pager, right? Sometimes you have to create a one-pager to be able to present to someone else to say, hey, would you like to help me on my idea? People want to help you. People want to build things. It might not just be me. There's going to be other people that are part of this community that want to help you build things too. Reach out to one of them. Somebody is going to comment down below like, hey, yeah, I have this idea. Hey, I am a coder. Hey, I can do this. Hey, I've been a co-founder before. It's these individuals that you want to be a part of. There's plenty of Reddit communities that are going to listen to people like you. Yes, I know we should be strangers. What about our business? Listen, I got nowhere by myself. I've held a cap, right? I built a business up to $50,000, and then that was the cap. I was unable to scale properly. It was when I started partnering with people that I was able to go a whole lot further, guys. So I wanna stress that networking and partnership is gonna be your best friend in building these things. But first, you need to be able to show it to somebody. Get it drawn out, get it mapped out, create a prototype of it. I don't care what it is. If you need help creating a prototype, hit me up. I've got people, we've got schools that are already involved in some extracurriculars that we engage in. Sometimes these things make money. Sometimes they don't. But some of my businesses that didn't make money taught me how to be a better business owner later. Now that we know how to take an idea out of our head and at least put it on paper or put a prototype or get an app together from whether that's a piece of AI, whether you're partnering in a venture, whether you're finding a co-founder that's helping you push that forward, or a strategic growth partner, there's plenty of us out there. These people are just going to help you take that idea from your head, put it on paper so you could start presenting it to the world. Here's the thing. We have to present it to the world because we have to create buy-in. We have to have people that buy in knowing that you're creating the solution that they're looking for, right? We want to ask, how does this app, this idea that I have, make this person's life better? When I have that in my mind, when I have that written on paper, when I have that as I'm having conversations with, whether it's investors, whether it's marketing specialists, whether it's just another co-founder or maybe a strategic growth partner, whatever that is, when you can articulate the buy-in, the solution, customers are going to be able to come through, right? You're going to create your ideal client. That's the goal here. It is creating the person you have in your mind that you want to sell to. There are masterminds around marketing strategies. There are masterminds that really talk about not only creating the person, give that person a name, give that person a face, give that person a day-to-day job. The best avatar that I've ever heard of was John Lee Dumas. He hosts a podcast called Entrepreneurs on Fire. He talks about this. He's talked about it in the past. He's very vocal about his explicit, perfect client. I think the client's name was John. John was miserable in his 9-to-5. He had a 20-minute or maybe a 30-minute commute to and from his job. And so John Lee Dumas, the host of Entrepreneurs on Fire, which is a great podcast, by the way, he created this ideal client in his mind. And he was like, what would I produce every day that this man, Joe, that was his name. That was his ideal client's name. What would I produce every single day for his 20 or 30 minute commute that would literally have him on the edge of his seat wanting to listen to me every day and quitting his 9-to-5 and maybe even having free tools on how to do that. That was John Lee Dumas's ideal client taking the idea that he had in his mind, which was his was a daily podcast. It was like unheard of to have a podcast every single day whenever he started. People were scrambling just to do it once a week. And he was like, I could do this every day. I could time block, which is going to be another video for us. I could time block to create the systems that I really only need to work like one day a week. Maybe on the front end of it, he worked a couple of weeks to really get a backlog or a buildup of podcasts. But this was his idea. His idea was, I need 365 podcasts a year. And in order to do that, I need to get inside Joe, my ideal client's mind. What he's doing, what he's thinking, how frustrated he is going to work. John Lee Dumas has done a great job in his podcast. I encourage you to check it out. Only because he was giving away free information. And I think that is a great place to start for anyone. So when we're talking about your idea, when we're talking about the business that you want to be building, what is the free information that you could also be giving away? There's an interesting investor and very famous entrepreneur, Monish Babrai, who says directly that we each have a song that needs to be let out. We each have a song to sing. And if we can sing it when we're not getting paid, we're going to sing it even better when we are getting paid. So I guess, in these next couple of minutes, as we continue to discuss how to take your idea from idea mode into implementation mode, we're going to continue to kind of wrap around that. How do I give this away? How do I continue to let my song sing? Now that I know how to prototype it, now I know how to introduce it, I know how to make it, I know how to speak to people about it, and now I also know my client's largest problem, right? I know the solution that I'm offering my client. It's gonna allow you to align better with your ideal client and the type of people that you do want to be working with. And it may even be a bit of a growing pain to grow past the person that you are now, shift that identity into the person that's going to align with these individuals' problems. I've heard it a lot. Cody Sanchez does a great job of and Alex Hormozy, they both do a great job of really harping on selling to rich people is going to make you rich. And what that is for you is going to be a little bit different, but I assume what they're talking about is a certain net worth of individuals that they want to be selling to, their services and their products. Who do you want your ideal client to be? Who is going to be the easiest person for you to talk to, for you to work with, for you to be able to sing your song the loudest with? For me personally, it is, I'm a strategic growth and business partner. So I align solopreneurs with strategies that they might be missing in order to scale and grow. It was the same bottleneck that I was in. I was a bottleneck in one of my businesses. I experienced another bottleneck in another business that I partnered in. Understanding what those bottlenecks are has been my forte, and being able to create processes around them, create systems and strategies around them has made me successful in my other businesses. So not only have we translated our idea into a picture or into a prototype or into something that we can present to somebody, but now that is tying it to a shared win, right? So how does this make someone's life better? Who is my ideal client? Picture their face, picture their day-to-day, picture their name, so that you can get better aligned with this person that you're creating in your mind. You're not creating from scratch, guys. We are surrounded by millions of people. You're creating from the ideas that you have from the people everywhere. And that's even on social media, right? That's even on the people that you're aligning with whenever you're clicking, clacking around, Step 3 is we want to make the first step stupid simple. We want to make the idea, whatever it is, into the first 10-minute action. For example, my first business. Don't laugh. Well, you can laugh. I had a couple of businesses. So one of them was a dog treat business. You can laugh, but it was cute. Tale of Two Bones was the name of the business, and I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that I had a wife that could cook good enough for dogs. And I just was thinking, how can we monetize this? I'm working a couple jobs at the time. She's working, we're both working 2-3 jobs. and we're barely making ends meet. You know, we're renting some triplex apartment thing. It was just rough, you know? So here I am just trying to come up with ideas. And at the time I had gone through many ideas that I had researched for months and months on end. I finally just kind of latched on to something, and I was like, let me just see what I can do with this. That business, the first 10-minute action for that business, the first thing, what was the first thing, right, is take the idea and put it into something actionable. Well, that was easy. We were able to make dog biscuits. Number 2 is, who is my ideal client? Well, at the time, I really didn't know what my ideal client was, but if I were to mastermind that one right now, if we were to kind of tank this business, then my ideal clients might be, what if it is like dog treat businesses? What if it is somebody that's a supplier, like a dog or a pet supplier down the road, especially a privately owned pet supplier who would want something from the local community to be able to sell in their stores? What if it's little fairs or little flea markets, something that gets together every week, something where I can begin to show up every single week, be consistent, people start to recognize who I am and know my name. You know, the other side of it is, guys, I believe in large networking groups. So Chamber of Commerce, if you have a Chamber of Commerce where you are, it's going to cost you $5,000 to get in. It's going to be the best $5,000 that you've ever spent in your life. Now, I'm not saying that you have $5,000 to put towards your business right now, but what I am saying, and on some of our other videos, what we go through is funding. How do you find business funding without anything coming out of my pocket? I was able to just pull $50,000 out of thin air, not because of who I am. Yes, a little bit because of my privilege, also because of the credit that I had built up. But there's companies out there that help you build credit up. We could talk about that. If that's a need of yours, throw it down below. I'll shoot over a direct line to someone that's helped plenty of my clients get exactly where they'd like to be in the credit space so that they can get funding to be able to step into these networking events. There's going to be networking events and groups that only get together and it's $1,000 a year. Some of them are $4,000 a year. Guys, these are large numbers. Some of these numbers really do matter. But if you want to talk about taking an idea and putting it into implementation, a 10-minute action step is, how do I begin to piece together some money so that I can put out mailers, right? If I'm trying to market from scratch, maybe I need to put out mailers. That's exactly what Manish Padai did. Is he's 200 a day is what he claims that he did, 4 hours a day during the days that he worked, and then 8 to 10 hours a day on the weekends that he put into his business. And part of that business model was creating the sales funnel. The sales funnel is going to be him putting out direct mailers. He didn't quit his job to do this, guys. He still had a 9-to-5. I still had 9-to-5s as I was building and growing businesses. It was important for me to be able to not worry about putting food on the table for my family. It was important for me to be able to focus in the times that I had, the 4 hours a day that I had to focus on my business, to be able to put time into working on the business, not in the business, right? I had a cleaning company. I ran by myself, at least for the first few months. And it was me cleaning toilets, working in the business, which was really hard to work on the business, creating marketing strategies, other financial strategies, hiring properly. But it's because I relied on that business to bring money in to feed me. And the truth is I ended up doing better later on by holding down a job and building out a second income, building out another side hustle, instead of relying on my business to pay all my bills at the outset. I know that all of this sounds like a lot, but the truth is we're just trying to go from idea to the first 10-minute implementation. For my cleaning business, the first 10-minute implementation was, I got on Fiverr or Upwork. I started researching people that could help me build a website. That was a 10-minute implementation. And then guess what? The next week when I started working on my business, I interviewed 7 people to help me build out a marketing strategy in order to attack residential and commercial cleaning business in the area that I was in. It was the best thing that I ever did. So if you have an idea right now and you're trying to get it into that 10-minute actionable step that we can then begin to produce more out of, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you got going on. I of course will schedule a one-on-one, totally free. I just love people building. I want to see if I could help somebody build. If what I'm able to do is help you build, that's exactly why I'm here. If I'm not the one that's going to be able to help you, I hope that I have the resources that I can plug you into to see if that's going to help you grow. But you've got to take that first step. The first step isn't to have the idea and to talk to your family about the idea. They're going to agree with you no matter what if they love you, or they're going to, tell you how dumb you are, which that's that's okay too. The goal is that you take this idea and then you can start to put it into actionable steps to begin making your own business, to begin accomplishing this freedom that you're looking for. I hope that you enjoy the video today. Hopefully I left you guys with some good resources to see if there's anything that can help you to move around and plug and play. Let me know if there's anything else that I can do. If you have an idea for a video that you'd like to see, whether it's specific marketing strategies, how to get on Google local services, how to start your Google My Business profile, how to begin your financial strategy in order to build your business if you're looking for funding, let me know. I'm here just to serve. Talk to you guys later.